you've spoken about time speeding up, and we're noticing it. I think it's almost like a car where we've been in first gear for a very long time, second gear, third gear, and as we go up the gearbox, we're going to get quicker and quicker. Are we at the point of the revelations where there is absolutely nothing that can stop the trajectory and the speed and the continued speed up of this car or this vehicle moving forward? In other words, are the dumb elites completely impotent now, fundamentally, although they can create noise and just, you know, the vehicle is now fully engaged and there's nothing they can do about it?
Hmm. So that the thing, absolutely, there is, and they've said this from the very, very beginning. The plan's a plan. Nobody's going to change the plan. You know, they can work to delay it, they can work to wibble it a bit, but the plan's a plan. And what they said is that the dumb elites, those that the powers that shouldn't be, they said that the job that they've got now, and their job is being accelerated. Their job is to wake up as many people as possible. That's their job, and they're doing a bloody good job of it as well. But what they're saying is the baddies are working on behalf of the plan, doing their thing to make sure that when the time comes, when the time comes for this divide, this split to happen for good, nobody can say, "I didn't know." That's what they're saying, and that's why it seems like it's so extreme at the moment. It's so, and it's going to be more so, but it's so extreme because the only people that won't be able to see it are the people that have decided they're not going to see it. The people that say, "No, I've already aligned myself. I've made my plan. I'm going this way." But all the people that are like this, waiting to wake up or whatever, they will then be able to say, "Yes, I saw all of the signs. Yes, I know exactly what it is." So that's what they're saying. That the body's job is now is to go from the sublime to the ridiculous. That's where they're going. Yeah. Really, is the government? Do you think the government might have our interest at heart or not? Until it's like they absolutely have not got our interest at heart. That's where we've got to get to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard and it is difficult to watch, but it's not for us. It's to make sure that we've got a clean split.
Yeah, because previously you spoke, I think it was on another channel with the Emirates, about the split, and initially they said that we wouldn't recognise it and we would deny it up until the point when it was too obvious. Now, has that slightly changed now? Because it sounds to me like it's going to be bloody obvious. You know, we're not going to miss this one now. It's going to be a clearer definition. And was that them just giving you soft disclosure for the point and when you see where I'm going?
Yeah, well, what they were saying, and so they're just sort of qualifying that now. What they're saying about the split being something we won't notice is that we won't notice as those who choose to go in the other direction fall away and we move off. That we won't know. You know, it's like, I mean, potentially we could be losing people that are close to us, potentially. But what they were saying was that change will be natural. You won't notice it. But in terms of being able to make a decision, you know, on which side am I going to be, that's absolutely clear. That's going to be absolutely black and white. Yeah. But then what happens once, I think what this showed me is that we've got to wait until we've got the two sides very clear. There's still some people floating around. Yeah. once we've got the two groups saying, this is where I am and I ain't moving, man, then that's when the split can start to happen in a very, very organic way. But it's like, we've got to know the numbers. Who's, which side are you on?
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. And I'm not really sure I have anything particularly to add to that about. It's important that we keep our energy up. It's important we keep shining our light. And everything I'm seeing and hearing in the private with conversations, and this conversation has just confirmed this, is we're in a really, really good place.
We certainly are. We certainly are in a good place. And the worse it gets, the better it gets. I came to Gary, that I was sitting pondering about, when I first started, when I woke up, first of all, and I was starting to look at stuff, and they were saying, but even then, like fear porn, watch where you're browsing, because they're going to know and they're going to come and they'll arrest you and everything. This is what the message is right at the beginning. And they weren't coming from the goodies. They were coming from the baddies, like, don't go down that road, don't go down that road. And that's all that we've had, is this constant fight to stop us from seeing this reality happening, seeing this truth. But no matter how hard they do it, it's the Barbra Streisand effect. Have you heard of the Streisand effect?
No.
The Barbra Streisand effect. I can't remember the details of where it came from, but basically it's this. When you say to somebody, don't look at that, don't look at that, do not look at that, what do? You've got to look at it, And this is it's like backfired on them. No matter how hard they push, it only seems to push people to look.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant, and I agree with you. In fact, the crazier it gets, the better I think it is for us. And I'm fully aware it's going to get a lot worse, and it is going to get a lot crazier. But if you accept that, and you're in that position of observing and not absorbing the energies and understanding it's the game that they're playing, and it's part of what has to go and has to play out. As we see this craziness unfolding and getting worse and worse, it's actually better and better for us. And the more crazy it gets, it just shows the sheer panic of the dumb elites and their inability to really change or cause effects.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something else that again, I was pondering about what's gone on. We've had, since 2020, the world has just changed. They said there was going to be it's going to be a new normal. Is that what they were saying? Yeah. And they're right. They were right, because we're never going to go back to where we were. But I remember at the beginning of 2020, I remember saying to people, this is a scam. This is a scam. This isn't real. This is blah, 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 blah. And I was saying all of that. But we were very, very minority people. Very small amount of people saying this, and a very large amount of people going, no, you evil person, how dare you say that? That people are being unalived because of this. Disgusting that you would say that. And now, and at the time it was hard, but now when you look in terms of big voices, they're everywhere. The fact that it was a pandemic is not even in question now. And so we're in this place where people are talking. Candace On was talking about conspiracy theories of very, 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 very far outfield, and I'm thinking, wow, our job has been done now. It's out there, and it's just a matter of it's out there. It's just a matter of who wants to listen to it now.
Yeah,
things have changed. The landscape has changed massively for us now.
I can remember when I was on Facebook and Twitter. I'm on neither anymore because I was removed. I put it out there. They took my accounts and shut me down, and that's absolutely fine. I've never gone back on again, but I didn't go back on again because I was told not to by my higher self. Because I would have ended up posting something that I would have got in trouble for. You know, I'm like you, Gordon. I'm on Telegram, and Telegram, you can create a nice community, and you can be far more open
Yeah.
and get away with it because it doesn't seem to have the scrutiny that other platforms do. You know, so
Sure.
please join Gordon's Peaceful Rebellion chat forum. It's beautiful, lovely people on there, and I've got one
And yours
alternative
too.
interactions as
The
well.
links will be in the video description. Yeah.
Yeah. But my partner is still has a small presence on Facebook, and she'll scroll through, and a story that would have a few years ago or even 6 months ago had people defending the government or the system or the situation, is you get one or two people saying supporting that government position. 90%, 80%, the vast majority are slating, are taking the mickey, are using, you know, oh yeah, we heard that one before, ha 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 ha, or pull the other one kind of comments. Now, obviously, they're not going over the edge because you've got to be very careful on there. But the tone has changed drastically since I was on there, and it's quite interesting to see that switch and that push over.
I agree with you, Gary. And I remember, I'm just on that. You know, we're careful about what you write because they're arresting people. You know, for what they write. But what I see is that bring these things in, just like the meningitis thing. Yeah, they bring them in, they hype them up, but we're moving so fast now that if they don't put like an overly large amount of energy into it, it just goes again and it goes. You know, and I just saw the Metropolitan Police have made the decision not to police posts, and rather they're going to spend the time trying to police the streets, right? And I thought, well, that's nice. But it's like, you know, they bring something in to make people fearful. Like they can see what's happening on all of the channels, all of the you know the online channels. Like I remember during the pandemic, and this was just during it. It was pretty much at the front end. Bill Gates put a post up saying, and I think it was on Twitter at the time, before it was X, saying, my best regards to all of the doctors and nurses who are working hard with this thing. And suddenly it was like a million posts all going, shut up, you caused this, you were in. And I was reading thinking, whoa, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And they kept having to delete all of the posts and then they would come back again. And that's when I saw this shift. I thought, that's why I said before, the pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to the Great Awakening. They did a great job for us. But it was from that point that now when you look at anything, the comments are all us. They're all us. The only time, and obviously they've got bots, you know, they're saying in Twitter, in X, that maybe 80% of the comments are bots, you know, and God knows what percentage of the posts. They're trying the damnness to stop it, but they can't. There are too many people typing away.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it was 50% of all internet traffic is bot. 50%, and as you say, it's likely worse on certain social media platforms because they have an algorithm, and they are, and let's not get away from this, they are the mouthpiece of the control mechanism, and they do it deliberately, and it's part of their program of control. We mustn't ever get away from that. None of these social media platforms, including Telegram that we're on, are our friends, and they're not there for our benefit. But we're now using them for our benefit. And that's the point. They can't take Facebook down anymore. They can't take X down anymore. The genie's been knocked out of the bottle. The genie's free.
Yeah.
And we've seen it slightly when I think Australia and other countries are reducing or not letting children or under 16s go onto these platforms. There's pros and cons to that. Obviously, and social media is very toxic. We know it's very toxic, but it's a way of them trying to stop the exposure of the change of comments that these children would see.
Absolutely. And why did they buy TikTok? Because that's the whole of the youth there, and they're all conspiracy theorists. Honestly, my son is more of a conspiracy theorist than I am. He's fully up to date. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. So the only thing that they can do, and this is what I see, is that they piggyback our channels and they fill them full of fear. The only thing they can do to stop us is to fill us full of fear, because we're the creators. We are creating this new wave. We're creating it, and so this is why you see, like, I've just watched this wave, thanks to the what's happening in Iran, of like all of the lockdown. You're going to be locked down. You're going to be, and shouting and over, and like everywhere. Look, blah blah blah. Nothing. Wow. And before it was meningitis. They're going to lock us down with meningitis. And I don't for a moment believe that all that information comes to us by accident. I believe that it's all, let's give them this one. Let's give them this one. Let's drop the vibe so that they're worried and that this don't create.
I fully agree. I think, well, I observed this several times on Telegram. And it's quite a good experiment. Many of us on Telegram have different channels. We follow different people, different groups, different the way it is. Similar to Facebook and Twitter, but it's not quite the same. If you sit back and you go onto a channel and you observe the posts of that channel, I can guarantee you that 6 or 7 of those posts that day will be on every single other channel.
Sure.
And as Gordon just said, they're not always positive. In fact, they're very often not positive. And they're being pushed by bots mostly. And then obviously the algorithm pushes them on to us to try and share or for us to see. This is a way of them trying to control and manipulate our energies. Once you're aware of it, it doesn't work anymore.
Exactly. And the philosophy I use now is believe fuck all. That's my philosophy. Whatever. They're going to lock us down tomorrow. Okay, well, whatever. And and it's like, honestly, news today, chip papers tomorrow. That's what we're living in. It's so quick now. They can't keep anything in the public eye. They can't do it for whatever reason. It's almost like it's slipping out of their fingers. It's moving too fast for them. I don't know. They're just not as good as they used to be.
No. And again, thank you from earlier for the Emirates for their brilliant answers and everything else like that. And going back to the previous one we did with them, they used the analogy of the racetrack and pulling the steering wheel. And it took more and more effort for that steering wheel for us to go off track before we went back onto the road. Yeah. And we're really starting to see that has become a very profound statement that they made there, or the
analogy.
Yeah. And so we're really, really seeing that in a very strong way. And this time speeding up, the effort they're taking, the effort they're making. I do honestly think that we are going to see in this month some travel issues, because they're going to be stopping the flow of diesel and petroleum or gas wherever you are in the world, car fuel. They are going to do that. It's part of their plan. It's not going to be a lockdown as such, but they will reduce travel ability or availability at certain times purely by the lack of resources for us to do so. They will try, I think, very strongly to create some kind of lockdown or issue, it's not going to work, because the people have now gone past that point of they're never going to do that to me again. How many times have I heard that? Oh, they can do a lockdown and I ain't going to bother. I'm still going to go down the pub, or I'm still going to take the dog out to the park. I don't care what they do. And if I want to go and see my mum, and if I want to drive here, I want to go there, I'm going to do it, and there's nothing they can do to stop me. That was us previously, and they tried really hard. They got their enforcement agencies, the police and the courts, to try and bang the drum. And wasn't it interesting that when it all calmed down, that all those tickets they gave out in England were illegal?
Yeah.
And everyone got their money back.
Same in Spain. The same in Spain. They had to refund everything. Yeah. Yeah. This is where we are. That if you just wait long enough, it sorts itself out, and we end up in a better place. No matter how bad we think it is, if you just take a breath and think, I'll just wait this out, then we'll end up in a better place. That's the way that we're going at the moment.
Yeah. I actually see this, crazily as it is, the most hopeful and positive position we've actually been in for the entire time that I've been researching and looking at stuff. So from 2012, fundamentally, I've been researching and looking at stuff. And I can honestly say this is the best, most promising position we've ever been in. And at the time, with the COVID pandemic, I was very concerned initially, then understood exactly what the game was. And the amount of people it woke up, the amount of people I communicate with, that 2019, 2020 was that key point that pushed them to do something.
Yeah.
What do you think's happening now, everybody? We're about to see another huge, massive wave of wake up due to what they're doing. This is fundamentally what the Emirates has said. This is where we are now. This is going to be the last big one, and it's going to be a big one. Let's have some humility and some compassion for these, and I don't mean this in any way horribly, but these poor buggers that are now going to wake up and be fast-tracked. You've all had 6 years of this. You're jaded, and when's it going to end? But actually, these that are now joining and going to be joining the party are going to need extra support and help. And the more support and help from a genuine, heartfelt, heart-based place that we can do this, the quicker that car can go, and the quicker we can get this shit show out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And they will need help, and they'll need a listening ear. You know, and it's something we've got to manage. Let them talk it out, even though you've heard everything that they're saying and you know it, and you go, but that you don't even know the half of it. But let them talk it out rather than overloading them with more stuff, because let them have that bit by bit. They'll find out anyway. Yeah, they will. I think with that, Gordon, with an amazing chat, and the Emirates with your superb viewing of them, if the audience can't take something positive out of this one, I think they will. I think they will. Yeah. I mean, it's all great news. It's all great news, Gary. There's nothing that worries me at all about where we're going. Am I concerned that it might be a bit overwhelming? Yes, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the direction we're going in. I've been told for the last 6 years the Great Awakening is happening. It's good news. We're going to go to a beautiful place, and it's all going to be fine. But it's going to be a bit tough, and that message is still the same. It's going to be a bit tough, But hey, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelette, haven't you?
You have. And I just want to say this. I'm relatively new to YouTube, and my trajectory has been amazing. Gordon has been on this treadmill for a very long time, and I think Gordon deserves, me personally, this is for me, what I see, Gordon deserves huge admiration for the stickability and the consistency of the message, and the fact that he took on the role that he was given and has done it so well, and will continue to do so in the supportive role that is needed by so many new people coming on board. So again, Gordon, I want to thank you for the work you've done, and I know the audience, the majority audience that have been with you a long time, I know they would love to do the same, but I'm in that position, so I can. So thank you very much, Gordon, for what you've done, because although we're now at the breaking the eggs and we're whisking things up and stuff, we still do have a long road to go. And I think you said it very clearly that we might have another year or 18 months, 2 years of this to play out, but it's going to be such a ride, and it's going to be so positive outcome wise for everybody that watches this and finds this in the future. So thank you very much for what you've done, Gordon.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Gary. Thank you very much. And again, thank you because I know that you've been helping my channel as well. You've been supporting it, and you've been promoting the videos and everything. That's lovely. But when I started this, I said to the emissaries, I'll do this, but don't let me have to go on too long. I don't want to be like those people who just keep talking about the same stuff and like inventing new stuff because they've got nothing better to say. And I said, so when the message is done, I want to stop. And they said, fine. But it's not done. So I've got to keep going. And they'll keep giving me messages. So I'll do it until they say, that's it, you can do something else.
Yeah. Superb.
Okay, Gary. Well, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for spending time with us and watching. And please put in the comments what you think, or if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask Gary or me, that'd be lovely. Or the emissaries.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been an amazing show, and we have this, and we're in a good place. And remember, observe, do not absorb.
Exactly. All right. See you again.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.